For the next couple weeks in astrology, we are about to have a lot of big, bright ideas come through. Mars is about to be in opposition with Saturn and Neptune, ruling over the chart. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Mars is the god of war, also god of agriculture, okay? Victory on the battlefield and victory of the harvest at home. You reap what you sow, you know? Mars also notedly is ruling over Saturn and Neptune, both retrograde in Aries right now. Aries rules our head. Saturn and Neptune both being retrograde, we have a lot of things that we are receiving the return of while the planet was direct. Transitions that we were making and being really consistent with. Right now we're reaping the rewards of that, and also taking a little bit of time to reconsider, was I going in the right direction? Is it working for me? What do I need to do differently? Lots of questions, okay? Direction change. So the big bright idea is because Aries rules our head and Mars rules Aries. Mars is about to be in opposition with Saturn and Neptune that are in Aries. We're about to have a lot of stuff come into the mind. August 9th is going to be the peak of this, but give it about a week and a half on either side. The opposition is still going to be there. It just isn't going to be in its like peak or its height. We also too, interestingly enough, this opposition is happening in Aries and Libra. If you are someone who's been following astrology for a while, you know that the North Node was just in Aries and the South Node was just in Libra for about a year and a half, 2 years. They switched over earlier this year, but enough about the lunar nodes, switching over. Anyways, let's move on. Think about all the work that you did with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. North Node in Aries, big new purpose of the mind. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but we know we need to start. I know for me, new study. Spirit had me studying certain kinds of magic that I don't even know how to articulate yet. It's gonna take me some time to figure it out, but it was there. And then the South Node in Libra is all about justice and the balancing of the scales and having that undo some curses and cycles on the earthly level. Oh boy, it was a lot. I don't know about you, but I know about me. Dear goodness gracious, I am grateful to be done with that lunar node axis. Am I grateful that it happened? Yeah. Am I grateful that our upcoming eclipse season in September is finally closing out that axis? Yeah, also yes. Yes, I am. So I think it's really interesting that this opposition of Mars, Saturn, and Neptune is happening in Libra and in Aries where the lunar nodes just were. We also, let's talk about long-term time stuff. All right. Saturn entered Pisces March of 2023. Saturn in this retrograde is going to be moving back into Pisces for the final time before it just stations in Aries for the next couple of years. Neptune also is going to be going back into Pisces and then stationing in Aries for about 14 years. Neptune is kind of a long transit, but right now Neptune and Saturn together, they're getting things together with both chapters and we're moving on together. So together. Sometimes it's very clever. That is true. So think about anything that you started March 2023, being consistent with a certain kind of transition in your life. Have there been transitions that you've been working on since then? Haven't given up. I don't give up, okay? So if that's your narrative, here we go. Also, if you've been consistent with spirituality, if you've been consistent with your spiritual practices, and probably a little bit bringing in maybe a lot, bringing in new practices, how has spirituality also helped those transitions since March of 2023? Bigger picture stuff, right? Okay, this opposition of Mars and Saturn and Neptune, we're about to see a lot of clarity about when Saturn entered Pisces March of 2023. We've been working really hard on something, and now we are in the position that we've set ourselves up in since March of 2023 to have some kind of victory. Hopefully it's a good one. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. You're talking about a year and a half? A year and a half. Okay. Yeah. So with that year and a half, wait a minute. Oh my God. Is it 2.5 years? 2.5. 2.5? Jeez, man. You know what? I wrote an article earlier today. My brain and time today. I wrote an article on my Substack earlier today, and when I was writing it, I wrote 3 years, and then when I was editing it, I had to go back and do the math, and I was like, wait a minute, it's been 4 years. That's crazy. You know, when you were a kid, we're gonna take a side tangent for a second. You know, when you were a kid and the adults were always talking about how fast time moved, and you didn't really understand because you were a kid? Yeah, well, that's how I feel recently. I just had a conversation with one of my friends a couple months ago. When did I get old? I don't know, but it happened. So anyways, I don't know where, but I skipped a year. It's been 2.5 years, okay? 2.5 years since Saturn entered Pisces March of 2023. And we're about to have victory from the start of that somehow. Now, we do have to keep in mind that it is not going to be maybe the entirety of the victory. Saturn does still have to retrograde back into Pisces, which will not be happening until September. And then it won't be until Valentine's Day, which this is kind of a weird Valentine's Day gift, but it won't be until Valentine's Day of 2026 that Saturn re-enters Aries. So like I said, we have some time, so it's probably not going to be the entirety of the harvest of the stuff that you've been working on. However, okay, there's still going to be a victory and a harvest. Talk about the victory on the battlefield and the victory at home in the field. Yeah, both of them, okay? What you've been fighting for, what you've been sowing and growing. Time to reap it. Take the shot, shoot the arrow, it's yours. You probably set yourself up for some kind of victory here and now. So go do it. Did you already brew it? Okay. Did you like put the back work in? Did you put all of the foundation up? Well, yeah, now here we are. And sometimes the only thing left in a manifestation is to do the thing. Sometimes you become the person. Sometimes you've done all of the clerical work. Sometimes you have every single other thing done. And then sometimes the thing that you want is the only thing left to do. So go do it for you. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. That's true. Go do it for you. If you really have put that much work into it, go do it. Wow, not the head nod. That was not a threat, okay? That was just an emphasis. It's like an exclamation point, yeah? Keep up your brew. I for sure will too. Me in the middle of my Saturn return with this going on, and you think I'm gonna waste it? Absolutely not. No way, dude. I'll talk to you soon. Also true.